All right, all right, all right. We're waiting to see who's logging on tonight. Hey, hey, hey! Of course, it's Danica. What's going on, love? How you doing? Can you hear me okay, Danica? Yes or no? Am I can you hear me? Danica, can you hear me? Okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Brett, what's going on? I am interstatal. Here we go, folks. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is June the 6th in the year, my Lord, 2024. We have an exciting show lined up tonight for us here at Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. What's going on, Tom? Welcome back, my friend. It's good to see you again. I hope everything's well in your world. So here we go, here we go, here we go. So as everybody knows, that the Mets are on a little bit of a hiatus. They're on their way to London. I think they're there already. Nick Triano, what's going on? Steve Costanzo, I am Duo Interstatal. Everybody, if you're ever in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut, go check out my chef friend, Steve Costanzo, Olio Restaurant in Stamford. Top-notch guy, won Chop, right, Steve? Back in the day, you won Chop. John Belvedere, welcome back, my friend, as well. What is going on? So let's do this. Let's do this. So the Mets are in London playing the Philadelphia Phillies, the bums that they are. And thanks to one Mike Marchiano, he gave us the dimensions at the London Stadium. Mike Marchiano is going to be a guest tonight on Angie's Angles about the 8:40 hour. And he was kind enough. He's an admin on the Steve Cohen Show on Facebook. So if you're a Met fan, if you're a baseball fan, I highly recommend subscribing to the Steve Cohen Show. Compliments of Mike Marchiano. He posted this today, the dimensions in London. We got 330 down the foul poles. We got 387 in the alleys, 392 to dead center. Mike feels that it's going to be a home run fest. And, you know, to be honest, those aren't really awful close distances, in my humble opinion. You know, the power alleys at 387, it's a good poke, 392 to dead center, sure. Most center fielders is 400 plus, right? But we're going to get Mike's take on this. Mark Brooks, Harold Sanderson, my brothers, what is going on? I am quadruple interstatal. Now I got something to say about London, right? And Major League Baseball for that fact. Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, we all know how I feel about Rob Manfred, right? The game on Saturday is a 1:10 American time start, which is fine. But the game on Sunday, you got to wake up at 10:10. And who schedules a baseball game at 10:10 in America, for God's sakes? Unless you're playing the Patriot game up in Boston. I mean, give us a break. Oh, Babs is on. Scott Tobias. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that there's no line dancing, Babs. But we're happy to have you on. It's going to be an epic Angie's Angles. If you know what I mean. Officer Lennon is in the house. What is going on, Officer Lennon? So what's Rob Manfred doing in his infinite wisdom, scheduling a London ball game against the top-ranking team in our division at 10:10 on Sunday morning? Yo, for us God-fearing people, we're at church. Or as my friend Kevin Elliott watches it on the TV at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, for God's sakes. And while we're on ranking on Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball, it was brought to my attention today that they did a promotion in London advertising the Met Philly series. And the marketing geniuses in MLB, for some reason, chose to pick one Jake Reed. No, not Rick Reed, Jake Reed, who pitched for us 9 games in 2022 to 8-something ERA, for God's sake. He's not even on the ball club. Jake Reed, who the hell are you? Just like Carlos, who are you, Mendoza? For God's sakes. Harold, I don't think it's us. I don't think it's my side. It might be you, my friend. You might want to try to transfer over to YouTube. Give it a try, Harold. I'm not sure. No audio issues. Bab hears me. Bab hears me free and clear, but Bab could hear me if she opens up the window. If you know what I mean. Nick Troiano, let's bring it big right on the big screen. The 10-10 start on Sunday is ridiculous, but it makes sense because of the time difference. All right, but why are we playing at 1 o'clock on Saturday in America? So you know, let's play the game later in London for God's sakes. All right, we're at the 8:36 mark, and I told Mike we're going to bring him on about 8:40. He's ready. We're going to bring him on stage, and let's see what happens here. I want to welcome Mike Marchiano. And let me give you a little background. Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I can't hear you. So it's me, Mike. It's me. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, try to talk again.
Yes, sir. Can hear you, bro. Can hear you well.
Let me do my audio here. I got problems. Last time I did this. All right, give me a talk right now.
Can you hear me now?
Nope. Give me 1 more minute. I'm sorry about this. This is crazy. I don't understand this audio nonsense. Give me a minute. Yeah. Now, Mike.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Damn it. What is going on here? So we're having a little troubles here. Give us a minute. The mic, I'm looking for the speaker. It says default speakers. I don't know if I tried that one yet. Can you talk?
Yeah. You hear me now? No.
Yeah, it's on my side. So give me a moment, my friend. Give me a minute. Sorry about this. If anybody knows what I'm doing, maybe they could help me. I'm gonna go back in here and try this audio. I added you to the thing. Audio, boom, mic is there. Speaker. What's going on here? Oh, this is gonna suck. I had this problem with Dom Scala. Go ahead, Mike. Give me 1 more shot.
Got me? No.
All right. Unmute mic. Your mic is not muted. I got that. Edit mic settings. Test. Up. Sorry, Mike. Give us, guys. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on here. It's the only options I have here now. Give me a second. Any microphones. The microphone is fine on my end. Oh boy. Try again.
Testing. You got me?
Mike, no good.
You got me? No.
On your side. Try to see what's going maybe on your side. I had this problem with Dom Scala, and I thought I fixed it. Damn. Anybody that could give us some
how about now?
Some audio help here would be greatly appreciated. I don't get what the problem is.
Yeah, my mic is good.
It's gonna really be difficult here. You silent, Mark. What's going on, Mark? That's very funny. Mike's side is good, but I can't hear Mike. Brett, maybe you could tell me what's going on. Let me see if I think my last time I had my mic muted, my sound muted, but I'm okay here on my side. Sound settings. I'm just gonna go in here real good. Let's see what goes on there. Click. I don't know what's going on here. Real video. Click to whip. Apps might have their own setting. Oh man, microphone is good. Audio. Brett, any chance you could help here? I'm not sure what's going on. Mike?
Yeah, you can't hear me? No.
I don't get it. I'm very sorry, everybody. This is not good. Boy. You know what? Let me try to go off of this real quick. And let me see if this does any difference. Mike, give me another try.
Can you hear me now?
Oh boy. This is not good. So can you all hear me still? Yes or no?
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me, Mike. Thank you. Give me a second, Mike. I'm very sorry for this. Wow. Wow. What's going on here? Do that. Echo cancellation. Let's see what happens. My volume, I'm good. Echo cancel. So, Mike, I'm just going to go through a couple. Keep talking while I play like the alphabet, if you don't mind, okay?
No problem. No problem. Yeah, you got it? No, yes, no, yes. A, B, C, D, E. Anything?
I don't
Anything?
know why this is happening. I had this problem last time with Coach Scal, and I was able to figure it out. We added you to the stage, right? We added you.
Yeah, I'm here. Right
there, Scott. Call Mike's phone so you can hear him. Okay. So Mike,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Call your phone, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna call you there. Good idea. Whoever said that, thank you, Scott Tobias. And let's see what happens. I hope it's not gonna have any feedback. You ended the call, Mike.
Oh, whoops. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's not letting.
Call ended, buddy.
I know. It's not letting me take the.
One more time.
I'm gonna try calling you. Let me try calling you.
Ending. Do it again.
Yeah. Wait. One second. Pick up for me.
All right, there you are. Yep. All right, give me a second. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, we can hear. I can hear you now.
All right, great. And everybody can hear Mike and me at this time, yes? Yeah, I got it. You guys can hear me or no? Everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
I know you can. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Scott. Okay. All right. I'm very sorry for that technical difficulty. I want to introduce Mike Marchiano, admin of the Steve Cohen Show on Facebook, and we are adversaries at best, if you will. But I respect his knowledge. I respect his passion, and I hope he respects me 100%. Obviously, as you can see, we're both Met fans. So, Mike, why don't you give yourself a little intro, and let's go right into it.
Yeah, not much to say about me. Been a Met fan all my life. Well, a little younger than you, but you know.
You're a lot younger than me.
First Met game was in '97, Shea Stadium.
97.
Yep.
Oh my God, I was one kid deep, waiting on the second one.
Yeah, Bobby Jones was pitching. I remember.
All right, there you go. Good job with Bobby Jones.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, let's get right into it. Okay.
Let's do it.
Me and Mike have this side wager on Facebook about Kodai Senga. And, Mike feels that Kodai Senga is going to contribute to the New York Mets. And
at some point,
we finally settled on a wager that if Kodai Senga comes back, when, Mike? By the end of June?
No, we said anytime.
Oh, anytime this season. My bad. Yeah. Okay. So if Kodai Senga comes back even for one inning anytime this season, I must go on Facebook and announce and proclaim that Mike Marchiano knows New York Met baseball. And it's going to be vice versa. If Senga doesn't make it back to the Mets at any point this season, Mike's got to do the same for me.
Yep. I mean, I think it's a pretty easy wager for me. Anytime this year. You really don't think he's going to make it back at any point this year?
Okay, so Mike, the timetable's been pushed back, right?
Okay.
It was May.
Yeah.
Then you had a setback.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was late May, another setback. Now he says he's not happy with his mechanics, which to me translate as I'm hurting.
Sure.
He's compensating, right? Kind of like my opinion of Edwin Diaz, right? I believe that his fastball lost some zip and became straight because when you throw a fastball, that's the most you have to push off the mound is with your legs on a fastball.
Sure.
So therefore, his knee was buckling, his knee was hurt, and it was barking, and he wasn't pushing off as hard, which really messed up his fastball. What's your take on that, Mike?
Real quick, since you brought up Edwin Diaz, I want to say he just completed his first rehab assignment. Single A, down in Single A, he pitched 1 inning. He gave up he's a line out, strikeout, triple strikeout in high A ball.
Okay. And high A ball.
Fastball sitting at 96, 98.
All right, so high A ball.
Yeah.
All right. So I think my grandmother plays on the high A ball Mets.
Well, I mean, listen, some good players in high. People want to knock high A ball, but you got your bigger prospects are probably at high A ball rather than even Triple A. Triple A, you got a whole bunch of major leaguers who are trying to make it back. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So you have some of your top prospects down there in high A ball. I'm not too worried about what his production was down in high A ball. I just want to see if he was able to get out there and he was healthy, which he is. Yeah, two strikeouts. The fastball sitting at 96, 98, I'm not thrilled about. Even if you look back to 2022, his best pitch was his slider. He threw his slider way more than his fastball. So I mean, and even in his stints when he struggled up at the big club, he was struggling with his fastball command. He didn't have his fastball command, but his slider's still there. So my thing is just get back up there. Even if your fastball is not going to be at 102 anymore, I mean that happens. It happens to the best.
So that's a great point you bring up about the slider. But here's my take on his slider too, right? They were laying off of it, Mike. They weren't fooled by it anymore. Right?
Well, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. So if he's throwing just the slider, yeah, of course.
Correct, right. So, but unfortunately, the Mets aren't immune to the slider because they either swing wildly or freaking get struck out like Lindor with his bat on his shoulder because he couldn't pick up the spin of the ball. How can we explain that, Mike?
Well, with that one play, Lindor, he even admitted it that he was just, I mean,
right.
I guess that happens.
For a ball. Have you ever heard a Major League Baseball player in your life admit, and I give him credit for admitting it?
Never heard somebody admit it, but I'm sure it's happened.
Sure, right. But to admit that I had no chance of picking up the spin, and I was just hoping for a ball.
But would you rather have him lied to you and said? And
I might sleep better if he lied to me.
Okay. Okay.
All right. In all fairness. So, Mike, I did a little homework today, and being that we were on the topic Senga, where is Senga, Mike? We might as well play Where is Waldo, for God's sakes, right? Because Senga's a mystery, right?
But here's the whole thing. You got to understand, like, it's in his best interest to get back at least for a little. Even if we said he was only going to come back in September and just throw, this is not unless he suffers a setback, unless there's a major setback, meaning that there's another injury, he's going to pitch this year. Unless we find out something else that he got another MRI and that was a separate injury, which I'll give you credit. If that happens, I'm not going to get out of the bet, even though I think that is the only way he won't be back this year is if it is another injury. But if it's the same injury, he's going to be back at some point this year. It's just a matter of when.
So he's got an impinged shoulder, right? That's the injury currently.
He's got
a
no.
Oh, his postural capsule.
Yeah,
right.
Posterior cap.
Yeah, correct. Right. So that's a big deal. I researched it. I vetted it. Sometimes that's a 4 to 5 month recovery period, especially for an elite pitcher like Senga that throws that ghost pitch that probably taxes that shoulder.
Well, yeah, it depends. It depends. Some guys recover from it quickly, and I think we've noticed this a lot in Major League Baseball nowadays is that they don't rush pitchers back anymore. It's not in their best interest to rush pitchers back, which I think is smart. You're paying a lot of money for these guys. You don't want to rush them back too early and then have them get hurt again. So I'm okay with that.
So I also think that the Mets situation and where they're at the time that he's proven to be healthy dictates whether he comes back. Because
I disagree. I think regardless of where the Mets are, they're still going to want to see him get some game action just so he's not rusty going into next year.
And that's where we disagree, right? Because I see no worth of him coming into game time situations, blowing up perhaps, potentially, right? Or trying too hard to throw his perfect pitch and re-injuring himself, right?
Well, think about the severity of Diaz's
DeGrom that season, right?
Think about the severity of Diaz's injury last year. Diaz's injury last year was much more severe, and there were still talks that they were going to bring him in September. And Diaz even addressed the media, said he could pitch. They decided not to. This is a lot less serious injury, where I think I'm guessing by the All-Star break. I really think by the All-Star break they'll probably get him back in. And does it depend on where the Mets are at the All-Star break? Maybe, but I still think at some point they're going to want to get him into game action, just so they can get him into game action so he's not rusty going into spring.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next favorite player that we both have. You're on the positive side. I'm on the negative side.
Yeah,
we're going to discuss, and here we go. Let me just show our audience.
Okay.
This is one Brandon Nimmo. Okay. Brandon Nimmo after striking out, and by the way, he sits at 62 strikeouts on the season.
It's a lot.
And that's 9 strikeouts more than Pete Alonso, who's on a record pace for himself to strike out. And while we're on the topic of comparing Brandon Nimmo, who by the way, the New York Mets have graciously acknowledged my existence by doing 2 things, Mike. I am well known and vetted as saying Brandon Nimmo, 1, is not a center fielder, and 2, not a leadoff hitter.
Okay.
And the Mets have absolutely said, Angelo Gagliano, you're 100% correct. He's playing left field now for the New York Mets, making $20 million a year to play left field. And we got Harrison Bader. And when Bader's not playing, we got Taylor. I mean, come on. If you can't trust Nimmo in center field, he's not a center fielder, Mike.
He still played center this year.
Oh, okay, a handful of games. And so did, whoever else you want to throw in that mix. I mean, DJ Stewart played center field one night.
No,
I mean, come on,
DJ Stewart's
Mike.
not playing center field.
They had no options. It was either the Bat Boy or Brandon Nimmo playing center in that game. I mean, he's a regular left fielder.
I think he's a very good left fielder. I think he's actually a very good left fielder. The numbers will tell you that he's a pretty good defensive left fielder.
I won't argue the left field for Brandon Nimmo. There's 2 things about Brandon Nimmo.
Okay.
He lacks speed in center field.
I don't think he lacks speed. I think he lacks the base stealing ability. I don't think he's a base stealer. I don't think he's slow. He's got.
I mean, Rob Manfred handed him stolen bases with the bigger bag, the 2 disengagements from the freaking mound. I mean, come on.
He got 5 steals this year.
He's actually, what is he at, 3 or 4 this year?
He's at 5. He's on pace for 20.
5.
He's on pace for 20
He's almost
steals
doubled his output for the last 3 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he had 3 in the last 2 years.
I mean, everybody gave Brandon Nimmo all this hard time about not being a leadoff hitter because he can't steal bases. It's such an archaic way to look at the leadoff spot. It's not the way the leadoff spot is looked at anymore. You don't
Ricky
have
Henderson will count.
Well, Ricky Henderson, yeah, come on. Ricky Henderson. You're going to compare him to an all-time great now? I mean, listen, Ricky Henderson also was a 360 on base guy. That's where the leadoff hitter comes in. You want your leadoff hitter to get on base. And that's what Brandon Nimmo does better than most of the league. He's routinely in the top 10 in baseball and on base percentage. That's what you want from a leadoff hitter. Kyle Schwarber's batting leadoff for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber gets on base. These guys get on base. That's why they're batting in the leadoff spot.
And batting $198.
Yeah, but he's slugging .550.
Right, it's either hit or miss. So with the Lindor switch, has jumpstarted.
I didn't like it at first, but I like it because obviously the results speak for itself right now.
Right, the production is increasing on Lindor.
It almost looks, and Lindor is not a high on base guy, but since he's moved to the leadoff spot, he's been getting on base a lot. He's been drawing a lot more walks, which is something he needs to do more. It's something Alonso needs to do more. Is get on, work more walks, get on base.
Right. So allow me to kind of verify and vet my he's not an outfielder. And here we go, or at least a center fielder. I'm sorry. This is Brandon Nimmo.
Okay.
See where the ball is. See where his glove is. See where his eyes are. I mean, that wasn't even close.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
One play. You want to go back?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because here you go.
All right.
Here's another play, Mike.
You can point out to a couple of plays that he misplayed balls, but I mean, overall, he's this year right now. He's at his one out above average, his 75th percentile in outfield range right now. If you go back to 2022, he was among one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball in 2022. It's just what it was.
Even a blind squirrel finds his nuts once in a while.
What, for a whole year?
Holy crap! Let's
for a
call
whole year,
spade if we can.
For a whole year that he was. What are you saying? He was lucky for a whole year.
I had hoped and prayed that Brandon Nimmo went to Colorado when Colorado was entertaining him. I think we overpaid for Brandon Nimmo.
$20 million overpaying?
$20 million for 8 years, Mike. 8 years.
So?
He's 32 years old.
What does that mean?
He's in his second. Come on. You're going to be, I'm telling you, you're going to be regret. I might not be around in 8 years, Mike, but you should be. And not for nothing, you're going to be bemoaning the fact that Brandon Nimmo is now your DH, perhaps, because he can't play the field.
He can play the field. He's fine in the field. Yeah, let's go back to his numbers dating back to 2020, right? He's a 272 hitter, 374 on base percentage, 443 slugging. That's good for an 817 OPS, 130 OPS plus, which, if you don't know, that means his OPS is 30% better than league average. 130 OPS. In that span, he's hit 63 home runs, 209 RBIs. That's a 162 game pace of 20 and 66. So if you got a guy, 374 on base percentage, hitting 20 home runs and 66 RBIs a year, which his power production is going to go up because his power production is going up and up every single year. And it's not making his on base percentage suffer that much. He's routinely a 350, 360 on base guy, and he's going to slug somewhere around 445 to 450. I don't know.
Currently, he's at a 378 OBP. So
384. No, 351. Excuse me.
Okay. So let me go. Let's jump to this now, Mike, and let's dissect this because we're at the 8:58 mark, and I got to get the prayer circle in. Mark Brooks, you might be going into extra innings, my friend. So here we go. Here's something, Mike, that I want you to comment on if you can. All right. Okay. So we're in 4th place in the National League East. The Phillies are running away with it.
Yes.
The Braves are 8 games back. Blah 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 blah. Right. The Miami Marlins are now. The Miami Marlins have taken over as the Chicago Cubs when the Chicago Cubs used to be God's gift to the New York Mets. Mike, you're too young to remember that, but back in my day, the Cubs were in our division, and they were our gift because the Cubs always stunk. Sorry, Harold, for that reference. Harold Sanderson, huge Cub fan. But this is what I want to point out to you. Everybody's bragging. Everybody's chirping how we're only 4.5, 5 games out of the wild card, right? But there's a ton of teams in front of us. But here's the telling tale, right? Runs scored, we have scored 227, which is the lowest in our division. But runs allowed is 315 for a minus 88 differential.
You're looking at the wrong one. That's the Marlins you're looking at.
Oh, that's my bad. That is my bad. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that to my attention.
You got it.
It's a minus 29 run differential. Okay?
Yeah, not good.
It's not good.
Not good.
And thanks for that correction. That's why I have you on here. So let's kill that for a second. I mean, that's awful.
Yeah,
the
not
Mets can't leapfrog teams by performing at that level.
Well, here's what it comes down to. right now it's still too early to worry about who's in front of you. You need to stack wins. Start stacking wins. The season is the Mets have played the hardest schedule in Major League Baseball so far, either hardest or second hardest. The schedule is going to soften. Just worry about stacking wins right now. It's June.
Sure, I could validate that. You're correct with that statement, but we just played the Nationals and they kicked our ass.
What do you mean? We swept them.
Before that, okay? All right. They came to Citi Field and they beat us. Yes. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
they did. Yeah, they did.
But we went to the West Coast and beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. So right, we have the capability apparently. Although I think the Dodgers beat themselves, but that's a different topic.
This is ebbs and
Let's
flows.
spend a couple of minutes on the McNeil benching, and then we're going to jump to the prayer circle. Why don't you tell me about your opinion about McNeil? And again, another guy that I've been vetted. I'm on record as saying after the batting title, we should have let him go and trade him and got worse for him. But that's my opinion.
I wasn't that quick on it, but I thought after 2023, I feel just because I think Acuna is going to be that guy for us eventually.
Okay.
I don't hate the idea of having McNeil as a super utility bench guy, kind of like a Joe McEwing type player.
Sure.
I'm not opposed to that. I think that's a fine place for him. He's got a very team friendly contract. So
very, very, very team friendly. And that concerns me too, right? So you shelled out this $160 million contract to Nimmo, and then you back that up with the $60 million contract to McNeil, right?
Because McNeil's not as good.
But he was the batting title champion, for God's sake.
Also, McNeil's not as good. He's 4 years older. So that's the thing.
Sure, but if you're McNeil,
see, here's the thing with McNeil. Even in his batting title year, I've always said this about players. There's one player in the league that can play the style that Jeff McNeil plays and be successful, and that's Luis Arraez in San Diego right now.
Okay.
He's the only guy I know. He is an anomaly. If you look at this guy's Baseball Savant page, he's an absolute anomaly. He's in the bottom of the league in exit velocity. He's in the bottom of the league in barrel percentage. He's in the bottom of the league in hard hit percentage. But he just hits. It's the most mind-boggling thing. I've never. I didn't get a chance to see Pete Rose in his day, but I imagine that would be like Pete Rose. But we obviously didn't have advanced metrics on Pete Rose. It was too long ago. But I imagine Pete Rose would be like similar to that. But he's an absolute anomaly. And Jeff McNeil in 2022 was an anomaly. It was an anomaly. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
So in 2022, everything he hit found a hole. And I agree with you, right? Every hit was lucky. Every hit found somewhere to fall. So I agree with that, right? What do you think of his mental state, Mike? Because I think he's like a high-powered guy. He's an A-type personality, right? Well, he wants to be on the field. Do you think he could handle that shuffling to the bench?
I don't know.
Mentally.
I don't know.
But watching the game and watching him how he is, your gut. What's your gut telling you, Mike?
Well, I know him and Alonso are apparently really good friends. I feel like if the two of them, if someone put an arm around his shoulder and said, "Hey, listen, you're getting towards the end." We got to remember he came up very late. He was 31, 32 when he came up.
Right.
So his whole career he's been the scrappy kind of underdog that people want to root for. He's a guy you want to root for.
Okay.
Because he's like that scrappy kind of, and people now are starting to hate his antics. But meanwhile, in 2022, when he was slamming bats and slamming helmets, we said, "Look at that fire! Look at that guy! He's got fire! He's got spunk." But when you're not producing, now you're annoying. Now it's like, see how quickly that changes. You know what I mean? Yes. So I think he can handle it. I saw Mendoza speaking on it earlier that they said that they spoke to McNeil before they benched him for those 3 games, kind of gave him a mental health break, kind of like they did with Vogelback last year. It could come back. I mean, it all depends on what he wants, on how he sees himself. You know, I think, can he come back? Yes, but the only problem with McNeil is he can't be a 290, 300 hitter and be successful. He's got to be a 320, 330 hitter because he doesn't have power. He doesn't draw walks. All he does is hit. So when you're so one dimensional, it's like Luis Ariz. Luis Ariz doesn't walk, doesn't hit the power, can't play defense. All he does is hit.
He bats 330, right? He bats 320,
He bats
330.
330. I mean, if you're going to get up there and bat 330 and have a 340 on base percentage, we'll look the other way because you're hitting.
Right.
But but when you're a guy like that, you really limit yourself. You almost have to be a 330 hitter to be successful. Otherwise, you're no good. 290 is no good.
I have to give a couple of shout outs real quick. Kevin Elliott, Clark Altman, and Terry. How are you guys? Thanks for joining us. We have a special guest tonight, Mike Marchiano from Staten Island, by the way. And don't forget, please go join his the Steve Cohen Show on Facebook. He's one of the admins. Mike, you want to stick around for the prayer circle or you want to go?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, and then I want to come back and ask you a parting question if you don't mind.
Not at all.
All right. Tonight's prayer circle. We've got Harold, Dawn Squared, his wife and co-worker, and his friend Ed. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda, we have your dad in our prayers. Mark Brooks, stay vertical, my friend. We're praying for you and your dad. Kevin Elliott, my buddy down in Hollywood, Florida. We're praying for your health issues to resolve themselves. The Kraus family, as Aubrey battles her remission in cancer, we're praying for you guys. Martha, my co-worker at Adelphi University, we pray for your continued rehab from your surgeries. Clark, Altman, your brother-in-law Brad and sister Tricia, great results. The prayer circle works. Clark reports that Brad is healthy. Results are great. We're happy to hear this. Devin Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for you. Fred, rotator cuff surgery here, our friend at Smoke Therapy. Ray Capers, another Adelphi University friend. Guys, if you're local to Long Island, Westbury, AG Steakhouse in Westbury, go. It's a Radizio. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. All the food you can eat, turn it green or red. They'll bring you the food, if you know what I mean. Coach Courtney, we're praying for your brother-in-law Calvin and Pat and your sister Pat as they deal with Calvin's issues. Mr. McGowan, sir, we have your 6 as you battle the ugly C word. Marianne Bello out in Vegas, we're praying for your mom. Big John, Smoke Therapy, we're praying for Irene, Philip's grandma, your cousin Kelly's your sister-in-law Kelly's continued rehab, hip surgery, cousin Richie throat cancer recovery, and John is asking for an intention for himself. Adam from Smoke Therapy wants to pray for the Farmingdale Fire Department as they lost one of their members, Norman Neal, passing away to cancer. Tom here at Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your friend Paul, cancer treatment, and Tom's mom is 96 and could always use a prayer, so we're praying for her as well. This was the prayer circle. So, Mike, a parting question, if you can, and thank you for hanging on for that.
Of course.
Please give us your feelings about Pete Alonso's destination. Does he stay? Does he go? And we're going to have you back if you're up to it. I'd love that.
Sure. For sure.
Let's dive into Pete Alonso real quick.
Okay.
And allow me to give a little background on me and Pete Alonso. I have fought Yankee fans on Facebook privately how they put Judge up on the pedestal, and Judge is deserving of being put on a pedestal. I'm not taking one iota. But in the same breath,
they destroyed Pete Alonso
and his worth to the Mets and his power out. And I just threw them out of order with the facts because the facts are the facts. I mean, he's got the most home runs since he's gotten into baseball, more than Judge. So let's call a spade a spade. But with that said, I was a huge want to keep Pete Alonso fan. I'm now on the fence. I yield to you, my friend.
All right. So allow me to make a historical reference when talking about these two guys, Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso. So if you think of Aaron Judge, I think of Hank Aaron. If I'm thinking about Pete Alonso, I think more of Harmon Killebrew. Two different, both very good players, but those are the ceilings for both those guys. Aaron Judge is a much better player. Even though Alonso's had more home runs since entering the league, yes, very true. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. He's an animal. He gets on base way more than Pete Alonso, which Pete Alonso needs to get on base more. I've said this since the day he's come into the league. He strikes out Judge strikes out a lot too, but Judge will work a walk. Judge, Pete Alonso, his plate discipline needs to improve. I think Pete Alonso ends up staying, but because here's the thing. I think at the trade deadline, they'll shop him around. I think they'll get offers from teams, and I think the offers won't be good because Pete Alonso, his value is not great. First basemen don't make big contracts. Let's just say it like it is. Matt Olson got what? 7 years, 162. They don't pay. No one's paying for first baseman because the idea is that first base is a position where you throw anybody. Where guys at the end of their careers, look at Bryce Harper, can't play the outfield anymore. He's turned into a pretty good first baseman. So they're not paying for that. They're not. I think he's more along the lines of he might if he doesn't pick it up seriously this year, and if he can't get his OPS back over 850, 860, even if he hits 40 home runs, he may be looking at a Cody Bellinger contract in the offseason. 3-year deal.
So I'm on record as saying that I think the final destination for Pete contract-wise, I think he's going to get 7 years, 250.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's what I see. I mean, the guy's on. The guy can wind up with 500 home runs.
Right. No, yeah, like I said, at his peak, he's Harmon Killebrew. I think that's the great comp to him. He's gonna,
and that's fair.
Harmon Killebrew was a 255 hitter, but he hit 500 plus home runs. What is it, 250 over 7 years? What is that? 250? That's what? 35 million a year? Nah,
yes.
He ain't getting that. Nah.
You don't think so?
No.
Homegrown guy?
No. He's going to get somewhere in the 26 to 28 million a year, somewhere around there.
I think he breaks the 30 million.
I don't think so. I can't see it with him. And
I don't think Boris is not going to let him. I don't think Boris is not going to let him.
Well, I mean, look at what Boris did with Cody Bellinger.
Well, look at what Boris did with all his clients this year, to be honest with you.
And here's the other thing you need to think of for next year's offseason. The prime guy in next year's offseason is Juan Soto. After Pete's not signing a contract until Juan Soto signs a contract.
Okay, is Juan Soto coming?
Is Juan Soto coming here? God, I fucking hope so. Excuse me, I don't know if I can curse on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can. We're 16-0, right? So that's fine. So I disagree. Even though I think Soto's a very good ball player, it bothered me when he turned down $450 million.
He's the modern day Ted Williams. Juan Soto is modern day Ted Williams.
Wow, Mike.
We're
gonna agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, he's the modern day Ted Williams. He does everything well at the plate. There's not one thing at the plate that he does not do well. He does everything at the plate well. He's the most complete hitter in all of baseball. He's a stud. He's an absolute.
So he looks very comfortable in Skanky Stadium. You don't think they're going to throw the boat at him?
I think he's going to go where the money is.
Okay, fair. So you think that Cohen's going to offer more?
I hope so. I can't say for sure, but I hope so. But here's what I do know: if Cohen blows him out of the water, he'll come.
Okay.
I think that's
so
pretty.
You think he's a money guy?
Yeah. Oh, I know he's a money guy.
And he doesn't care if he comes to a fledgling Met team that's
on
pace to lose 90 games.
He's not chasing a championship. He won one already. He got his championship in Washington. He's not. Okay. It's not like he's hungry for a championship right now. I think maybe he'd like to go to a place where he's not in the shadow of Aaron Judge. Maybe he wants to be the big guy on campus. Which if he comes here, he is. If he stays with the Yankees, he's in Aaron Judge's shadow. Aaron Judge is the guy.
Fair point. Mike, I owe you. Thank you for coming on to Angie's Angles. We're going to have you back. I'm going to remove you from the stage. You have a great night. Thank you kindly. That was Mike Marchiano from the Steve Cohen Show on Facebook, coming to you live on Angie's Angles. We're going to bring you the guests. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. This has been Angies Angles coming to you live from Smoke Therapy 215. We're on Conquer Avenue. Good night. God bless. I love ya.